So Sunday was Chavdalat Tevis, and as I said, everyone thought that for the Farbrengen the night before, the Rebbe's Inyonim, which make the tumul of Chavdalat Tevis, was finished. The pilot wasn't like that. Sunday night, about 12 o'clock, close to 12 o'clock, around Chatzos, midnight, I was ready to go to sleep. I stayed in my Zeta's house, and I was already getting ready to go to sleep. There was a knock on the door. And then I opened the door. It was a good friend of mine, Harav Shalom Ber Levitin. He was a Bocher in Yeshiva then, a friend, came knocking on the door saying that there's going to be a Farbrengen very, very soon. So right away, I got up and ran straight to 770, came to 770, and went in, and the table was ready for Farbrengen. And in a minute after I came in, that's when the Rebbe walked in. Now, we heard that what happened was that on that night, Chavdalat Tevis was the dinner of the Lubavitcher Yeshiva. So obviously the Rebbe didn't want to disturb the dinner, so the Rebbe didn't say there will be a Farbrengen. And they say that the Rebbe kept on asking many times, did Rashak come back yet? Rashak was the head of the yeshiva, so he was the one that was the head of the dinner. So the Rebbe didn't want to say anything till Rashak came back. When he told him that Rashak just came back, that's when the Rebbe was Mediyah, that now there's going to be a Farbrengen. That's why the Farbrengen was so late, because after the dinner, till the dinner finished, till they came back, was already 12 o'clock. So that's when the Rebbe was Mediyah to be a Farbrengen. Now, this Farbrengen was completely different than the night before. This Farbrengen was a very freiliche Farbrengen. The night before was a very serious Farbrengen. Like I said, there was not even mezeines and wine, and the Rebbe was serious and pale. You could see his ruchnis dikyonim, and you can't imagine. But this one, the Rebbe was very uvgelegt, very freilich. The Rebbe came in, first he said they should sing one of the Alter Rebbe's nigunim, then he said a siche, and then he said they should sing another nigun of the Alter Rebbe. And then the Rebbe again said a maimer, and this time was also a very short maimer, 4 or 5 minutes, and the maimer started him as they name Pnei, which these maimorim come from the maimorim ksorim of the Alter Rebbe, which was not printed then. But the Rebbe said in a very short maimorim, he was basically saying over based on the maimorim of the Alter Rebbe, the maimorim ksorim. Then the Rebbe made a siyum, Pasha made a siyum on the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, and he said that the night before he made a siyum on Tanya, he spoke at the Inyonim and the siyum on Tanya. Now he made a siyum on Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, which is later printed in Likutei Sichos Chelik Dalet Parsha Ketzeisei. And he said afterwards that there are 3 things. There's the Shulchan Aruch that we made the Chalukah. There's Tanya Chalukah. So we said a siyum on Shulchan Aruch and Tanya. But there's a 3rd thing, which is Tzedakah. Now he's going to speak about Tzedakah. So now he added something that he hasn't said before. That negated Tzedakah that should be given, special Tzedakah, should be given in a mispar of 150. Similar to the way it was a few years before Shnas Tovshin Chof, when it was Shnas HaMasayim, 200 years from the Istalkas of the Baal Shem Tov. The Rebbe made a whole big fuss, and the Rebbe said that everyone should give $200 for 200 years. And there the Rebbe said it should come in a certain right away, right before Shabbos. I think he said everyone should give it. I don't remember exactly, but he should give it right away. This time the Rebbe said he's not going to say that. He's not going to make this Hagbol in Zman, but it could be done throughout the whole year. But nevertheless, better to do it bizrisis and do it as soon as you can. And he didn't say it should be $1 dafkid. It should be anyway. The best way is if you give them more, the better. Maybe if you give $200, I don't know if he has the word $200, then $150. I mean, that would be the best. But al kaponim, it should be in the matbeyas of 150. And then he added also another thing, that everyone should add 150 hours the meshech of the year in learning the Torah of the Alter Rebbe, which is shayches to Tanya and the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch. So it should be done throughout the whole year. But he said better would be if you make the 150 hours as soon as possible. But if not, throughout the year, $150 hours in addition to the time that you have in learning anyway. And talking about what happened throughout the year, the Bochner walked around with little booklets that every time you had a chance and you learned another half hour, you would write down, I already had another half hour, so that throughout the year should become 150 extra hours. But there's a whole thing, the whole year, Bechlal, was the Hergesh of Shnas Hakan. So you always, the whole year you were putting down, did I learn another minute, another few minutes, to add up to 150 years. But getting back to the Farbrengen, then the Rebbe by the Farbrengen said that we know by the Baal Shem Tov didn't want that any money should stay overnight by him. And you always make sure to give it away before. So B'meila, the Rebbe said, now also, it's kedai that anybody who has the money should empty out their pockets from all the mezuzah, all the cash that you have. And you might be zeicha. He told the story of the Baal Shem Tov that it was once Shabbos, Motzei Shabbos, and it was just right after Motzei Shabbos, so everyone was still Shabbosdik. And the Baal Shem Tov wanted they should buy candles, so he said people should put their hand, the Talmidim should put their hands in the pockets and find money to buy candles. They had such a munah, they knew there's no money in their pocket. It was Shabbos. Nevertheless, they put their money in their hands in their pocket, and they got money. So here also, the Rebbe came out, that the Rebbe was like saying, he didn't say mamish the word, everyone shall empty, but he was saying basically that you should empty their pockets. And he said, like we should say by Chassidim, and he finished the Sikha, I think, with these words, Yid tagvai groshi, which in Russian means Yid, give geld, Yid, give money. And the Rebbe himself, I saw the Rebbe himself emptied his pockets. He took out all the money in his pockets. I remember it was a yellow envelope there, like the big yellow manila envelopes. The Rebbe put it into the envelope. I remember him putting in coins. I think he also put in dollars, but I don't remember exactly. But the Rebbe himself emptied his pockets. And all the other people also emptied their pockets. And whatever money people had, they gave it over to the Rebbe, and they put it into that envelope. Then the Rebbe said to sing the Nigen Barikesi Lachem Bracha. Interesting, somebody told me that till he heard about the Farbrengen, until he came towards the end of the Farbrengen, as he walked in, he heard the words, Yid avai grosh. It hit him that the Rebbe is like saying Yid. And the Rebbe said this all with a smile. The Rebbe, the whole Farbrengen, it was a freiliche Farbrengen. It was Farbrengen, the Rebbe was aufgelegt, the Rebbe, you could see it, not, like I said, not like the night before. And the Rebbe himself, a whole year, would give money to this Keren Schneier, put in the pushka, like I said, and everybody would give the money in a way that the Rebbe said to give it out in separate. The Bochum, a member would give 10 times a day, give tzedakah. If a person in Bocher wanted to give $1, in those years, we're talking those years, $1 was a lot of money for a Bocher. He would give it in 10 times and 15 times, give it a few pennies here, because the Rebbe said by the Farbrengen Chayil, you should divide it into more times. And still, even after this, and the Rebbe, after the Farbrengen, the Rebbe left, the whole mood of Shnas Hakan, that's ongehert, the whole year, this is a Shnas Hakan of the Alter Rebbe, the first that the Rebbe made. And from this Keren Taka, this Keren Schneier, that's when they started really printing a lot of Svarim of the Alter Rebbe.